I don't drink soda.
I've been doing this thing where the microphone's like too far away. So I've been like leaning forward.
See, if you keep it in, it'll keep you with good posture.
See, I don't like good posture. I like being able to lean back.
Lean back. Lean back. We've established this.
Lean back. So I actually do, not even related to this Fat Joe song. Is that who made that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fat Joe. I like to lean back. I like to be comfortable, especially when I'm podcasting. It's a free flow, free form thought experiment. And I need to be relaxed, If I'm up, if I'm posture, if I'm tense.
That's your God-given right, I suppose.
Thank you.
To have whatever posture you prefer for your podcast.
And speaking of posture, thank you for tuning into the Natural Habitat Posture Cast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name's Austin Ty. It's Computer.
Computer's here. Free Candy's in Canada. Free Candy's actually never been here.
He hasn't?
On the show?
I could swear he was here a couple weeks ago, no?
I looked back because I thought so too.
Yeah.
I looked back.
I saw him in the hallway or something.
He actually has never shown up.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Then who was that guy?
Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jerry. Sorry about that. I'm getting over a cold. So I'm a little extra.
Little phlegmy.
A little sauced up.
Phlegmy. You got a little sauced up mucus, today. Chest mucus.
Mm-hmm. And that's all right. That's also my God-given right, I believe. You don't think so?
I think posture is more of a right than mucus.
True. Well, I have breaking news for everybody out there. Breaking news. The soundboard is fixed. We fixed the soundboard. So it's no longer making that noise. That noise last week when we hit it, and it was like, it was really upsetting, really disturbing. I don't know if only we could hear it. I think maybe only we could hear it.
Yeah, but still.
But it was enough to we were not having it. So
the experience for us.
So now the soundboard is back in effect.
Hey, what is going on here?
We got all the classics. We got all the things. I've heard people sound off. They said that the soundboard really makes the show.
Yeah, obviously. Oh, yeah.
They describe it as the podcast with the soundboard.
Yeah, that's really what they're tuning in for. And, like us talking in between the sound effects is just kind of something they're
yeah, the soundboard's the star. It's a little loud.
And that's fair. That's fair. I think sometimes the sound effects are a little bit definitely funnier than we are, and possibly more informative.
Yeah, I agree. So, are you 1 or are you 2?
I think I'm 3 this week.
The sound, what's it called?
The soundboard.
Soundboard is 3. So you're got to be 1 or 2.
Well, then, I mean,
I think you're 1.
Okay.
I'm going to turn you up. So if you've been listening to the show throughout the weeks, you know about the Icy Saga. You know that we're attempting to team up with the Icy Hope Foundation, get them inside of our local hospitals, get Icy's inside of the studio for free.
Yeah, I mean, we've been ranting about it for weeks now, but you will notice the absence of any Icy products this week, and that's deliberate. As much as I could go for the coldest drink in town right now, we made the conscious decision to not have Icy's here today, and that's because we're taking a little bit of a stand. They've been, not so much unreceptive, but they've been slow to finalize this deal with us.
Yeah,
and we've gotten our attorney involved. That seemed to speed up the process a bit, but still, we had
someone respond to us last week. We talked about how Icy finally emailed us back, and they said, we're so sorry. This email fell through the cracks. I'll go ahead and escalate this up the ladder. Someone will contact you shortly.
Yeah, and we're expecting the Icy Bear, or at least some sort of, marketing executive. But so far, neither have approached us or gotten back to us. So, I mean, we're not calling off the potential sponsorship. We're not throwing it away just yet.
But we're starting to explore other options.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just like the letter said, we're pragmatic, and we're going to look at all of our available options. And I mean, I don't have a Slurpee here, But I mean, there's a lot of 7-Elevens in the area. And
Yeah.
it would almost be easier for me to go get a Slurpee than it would be for me to get icy. So,
And there is a whole frozen beverage industry that we can tap into that I'm sure have their own versions of the Hope Foundation. So, icy isn't the last stop for us.
yeah, icy. You're not going to make or break us.
No.
but we still, again, we want to get in bed with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And do you think that before we go into our breaking news, our main story, that we should call the hospital?
I mean, you promised them that you would, so
Yeah,
I mean,
I did.
I hate to go back on our word.
And here's the thing is that we usually record the episodes traditionally on Wednesdays. Lately, we've been doing a lot of Thursday recordings. So, the very first time that we called this hospital, we called on a Wednesday, and we found this woman, this sweet lady that seemed like she would help us. She seemed like she would go along with the joke. She would roll with the punches. She would help us. She would be good content for the show.
Yeah.
Get us the info we need.
What was her name? Like Brenda?
Now, I listened back. She didn't give us her name.
Bonnie. Oh, well, she didn't give us her name. Then how are we supposed to find her?
We need to learn her. We need to recognize her voice.
Shit.
So, what I should
I
have
feel
done.
like she had like a Cockney English accent.
Mhm. But she sounded very similar
Like,
to the second.
Hello, governor.
So
Like
this, yeah,
not quite like a hello, governor, but you know,
close.
close.
Yeah. It definitely sounded like she was in the UK
Yeah.
of some sorts.
Yeah.
But then the other, 3 times that we called on Thursdays.
And we've gotten 2 other different people.
Mhm.
One of them twice, right? So
Yeah.
we've contacted this
One
hospital
was
4
completely
times.
oblivious and not helpful at all. The other one was we talked to twice, and she was pretty upset. A lot of kids were dying that week.
Yeah. She was having a rough
She was
week.
stressed out.
But she made it clear that it wasn't our fault.
Mhm.
And, I think we cheered her up just a little bit.
Yeah. So now we're calling on a Wednesday again, and I'm hoping to get the original lady that we talked to, which would be ideal,
Sure.
Now, what is it? It's the superintendent of pediatrics.
Principal.
I forget.
I forget. Please note that your call may be recorded for
Uh-huh.
quality assurance.
Great.
Centers provide a wide range of healthcare services.
Hi, Pretty Carol. How may I direct your call?
Oh, that's her.
Yeah, supervisor of pediatrics, please.
Pediatric where?
In the
Just
hospital.
regular
The
or
ER,
super-
on the
it's like-
floor.
I think superintendent of pediatrics.
Is there a patient in the hospital?
Oh no, I'm trying to talk to someone in administration.
Okay. What's it pertaining to?
Well, we have been talking to someone over there recently. We're from the NHP Foundation, and we're teaming up. Well, it's planning on teaming up with the Icy Hope Foundation, which recently has donated a icy machine to your hospital.
Uh-huh.
And we are trying to find out what the experience has been like dealing with them, if they're up and up foundation, mainly if they are providing the mix for the ices free of charge, or if that's something that needs to be purchased by the hospital. Because we just want to know what, the type of foundation that we're going to be teaming up with. So we've been speaking to someone.
The supervisor at night would know that. I would try back during the day when someone is in that deals with the foundation.
Yeah, I know, but it's the time change and the whole thing. But when we originally called, when we originally called, we got this line and we asked for help, and they said that we needed to talk to the superintendent of pediatrics. They sent us there. We spoke with someone that was working, the overnight shift. I believe it's nighttime where you are.
Much more helpful than this woman.
And they were very helpful. They said that they were going to put boots on the ground. They were going to go find some information for us, go talk to people during the daytime, like you're talking about, and then relay it to us during our day, which is your night.
We're following up.
So we're just following up. We're not trying to start a thing with you. We're trying to follow up with the original person that we spoke to.
Right, but the overnight supervisor probably wouldn't have that information like they would during the day. Can
No,
you
I know.
call during the day?
Well, I know, but the overnight supervisor is the one that we spoke to originally. So they would have that information because they promised that they would go get it throughout the week. But then we have failed to contact her because we've been calling on Thursdays. It's a lot to explain. But if you could just transfer me to pediatrics, please.
Foundation, and you're wanting to find out if your IC machine is working up to par or whatever. That's right.
If it's on the up and up.
God, this woman, very difficult. Very difficult. This is the worst one of all.
Yeah.
And it's like they've just got this revolving door of characters here.
Gulf Coast Medical Center, part of Lee Health.
Oh, man. We can't dox where they are. We're not trying to get... we're going to have to cut that out. Don't listen to that part. If we forget to cut that out, just don't listen to that. All right. I feel like we're just going to get sent on a... Yeah. That was not the person that we wanted to talk to.
Like the worst experience that we've had with them so
far.
That
was
was
very
honestly,
unfortunate.
It kind of has me questioning like whether the IC Hope Foundation is on the up and up. You know what I mean? Like if they're jumping in bed with these, hospital workers that
are gatekeeping.
Yeah,
they're gatekeeping this information.
They're gatekeeping.
They're gaslighting us.
Yeah. They are.
She was kind of a girl boss. She was acting like she was a girl boss.
So, I mean, if this is the type of people they associate with, I don't know that we're the right fit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's much overlap on that Venn diagram there. So,
yeah.
I mean, we're not going to call it off just yet. But IC executives, if you're watching this, like, you need to, for one, look at the kind of people that you're associating with the IC Hope Foundation, and to get at us. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on. So we have breaking news. Paul Flores, almost said friend of the show, Paul Flores. Paul Flores, someone that we've talked about a lot in Jesus.
I was
intense.
acting out the Paul Flores.
Well, I mean, you're kind of spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, just maybe when we get to that part, then you do that. Yeah, that's good. Allude to it. So, Paul Flores, someone that we've brought up a lot. We've done this episode. Did that just break?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to have to hold it or something.
Hold on. This is actually a very exciting part of the show, you guys. It's called Technical Difficulties.
Technical Difficulties, where we get to show you some kind of typically behind the scenes goings on here, where we're getting, our equipment set up. Normally Jerry would be doing this, but, Jerry's not around so much these days anymore.
So this microphone stand broke just now, shattered into pieces.
Yeah.
And we are going to replace this live on the show. This is going to be really exciting for you guys.
Yep.
So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. This is all kinds of...
We're going to have to do this another time. But you know what? This isn't the worst thing. Holding my mic. Now I can move around a little bit more. You know what I mean? I can change my posture. I can lean back if I choose to, just like you can, or I can go forward. I can go up, down.
Is it for
left
you?
and right? Everything. It feels so right.
Here. I will also remove my microphone.
No. Why are you going to do that?
So that way... There we go. That way we could pretend that this is just a show where we hold our microphones.
Okay.
That way it's not, I'm standing here, I'm mic'd up.
Okay, yeah.
You got that? Or do you feel like that was the thing that you wanted to do by yourself?
I kind of feel like I'm being stripped of my individualism now, but...
Yeah, okay. Do you want to commentate what's happening?
Yeah, so he's actually screwing his microphone back on the mic stand. A lot of work on these mic stands for us today, which isn't typical of a normal episode. Typically we have these all dialed in and nice and tight and in place, but you know what? Sometimes things take a left turn.
It's all right. We're gonna do a whole rehaul on that. This is gonna be all fixed next week, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So
this farmer in this dell.
No. Breaking news. Paul Flores, someone that we've talked about a lot on the show.
Yeah, Paul Flores is the convicted murderer of Kristin Smart, who got away with it for many a years and was recently convicted by a jury of his peers, correct?
Yeah. He went to, what would you say? This was like a couple months ago, maybe? A few months ago? Less than 6?
that he was sent to
That he
an
was
actual
sentenced,
prison.
yeah.
No, well, yeah, I think it was recently, but he was just transferred to from I think county jail to like his actual prison.
Mm-hmm.
And I think initially he was in PC for a few days, protective custody.
Yeah.
But then he was released just today into Gen Pop. General population.
Gen Pop, that's a prison term for general population?
General population. That's just means you have no special protection. You're just in there with all these other inmates and crooks. And within an hour, supposedly, from what we've read, he had his throat slit by another inmate.
Yeah, we have this post here from Your Own Backyard Podcast, not to be confused with Our Own Backyard Podcast.
It's a different podcast.
Different podcast. That's our podcast.
Now, again, this information is coming from Chris Lambert, who, as we've established on this show, I mean, you got to take what he says with a grain of salt. It's not the gospel necessarily.
Salt.
But, I mean, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that this is accurate information. So he had his throat slit from ear to ear, and he amazingly didn't die from the top initially. All right, so Paul Flores was relocated to Pleasant Valley State Prison in Coalinga this week. This morning, he was admitted to general population for the first time. Less than an hour later, another inmate slit his throat.
What?
I have no details about what led to this incident. Paul reportedly experienced substantial blood loss as a result of multiple severe lacerations to his neck and was airlifted to a trauma center in Fresno, where he was stabilized but remains in serious condition.
Uh-huh.
I know this news will stir up very strong emotions, so please keep your comments civil. Feel free to share your unrestrained thoughts and feelings by sharing this post in your own stories. Thank you. Heart emoji.
Purple heart emoji. Then he says, edit, comments got out of hand fast, so people got wild immediately, and he had to disable comments on that. But Paul was in Gen Pop for less than an hour, got the old, what's it called? It's like a Russian necktie.
I think that's it. Or no, Colombian necktie.
Colombian necktie. Where you go from ear to ear, and it gives you it's like a...
Yeah.
There's like another thing, right?
Is this the kind of justice for Kristin Smart that we all thought that this man deserved? Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I immediately found out this news broke. I learned it way before anybody else. I was on the cutting edge of it.
The cutting edge.
The cutting edge, yeah. And then I started telling people. Nobody had heard yet. I was like, hey, did you hear about Paul Flores? They said, no. What about him? I said he got stabbed. I didn't even say he got stabbed, or I didn't even hear that he got stabbed. I just assumed that he got stabbed at this point.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's usually some sort of shiv or shank or
the first
some sort of sharp item.
It's got to be. The first news was Paul Flores was involved in an altercation in prison, and he was airlifted to a hospital.
Yeah, and you got to assume, looking at this guy, I mean, he's not the type that's going to go stir up anything with the other inmates. He's more of a coward that, assaults women when they're inebriated, whereas, like he's probably going to cower from any physical altercation with an inmate. So, you can see the evil in his eyes. And I imagine that, once the throat was slit, the eyes got kind of like hazed over and glossy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can't prove that.
The evil was still there,
Oh yeah, the evil, you can't get rid of that kind of evil. But, he's not dead yet that we know of. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Tupac was, supposedly in stable condition in the hospital for like a week and then just miraculously died. So, you know what? Like, I feel like Tupac's a better man than Paul Flores. So,
and I love the subtle jab of, there's not a lot of things that I do like about Chris Lambert, but one thing that I'll give him is this subtle jab of, normally you would say...
Subtle jab,
yeah. Normally, you would say he was airlifted to a trauma center in Fresno where he is in serious condition but was stabilized. But he said he was flown to a trauma center in Fresno where he was stabilized but remains in serious condition. Like almost like he was stabilized but you know, he's still suffering and he still could die. So don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, man.
Or don't lose hope.
If I had my throat slit, I don't know that Fresno would be the place I wanted to go to be stabilized. Not much good. It typically comes out of Fresno. It's
absolutely not.
You know, like the worst part of California. So
yeah, they got a Sonic. That's about it.
Fortunately, they didn't get him to, you know, like a better hospital.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, hopefully I think that's great unfortunately, it's great for Chris Lambert because he could do a whole podcast.
He's going to get a couple more episodes out of this for sure.
Yeah, out of him getting stabbed in the neck, and then the guy who stabbed him or sliced him or
was that season 2? Him trying to track down who was, you know, the
so he starts he finds the guy who stabbed him, which is proud of it. You know, he'll tell you he's probably in there doing life. He's the king of the prison.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy, it's for sure. Yeah, like a life inmate who wanted to, you know, prove his worth, and now he's king shit for sure.
Yeah. So he gets eternal clout for the rest of his life in prison, and then Chris Lambert will start a whole new podcast, where he'll start at this guy's childhood. You know, you're in 1989.
Yeah,
like he's a little baby. And his
parents
are selling crack.
Yeah, and how he turned to a life of crime to escape, you know, his tough upbringing, and eventually found himself in
the time he slapped an old lady
prison, and you know he was probably getting bullied in prison himself, and the only way that he could, you know, overcome the harassment in prison was to take the life or attempt to take the life of a weaker inmate. And you know, sure enough, this Paul Flores shows up, perfect candidate. He's famous. Everybody knows the Kristin Smart thing's probably been the news, you know, all kinds recently.
They love podcasts in prison.
Yeah. And
you got nothing to do but sit there and listen to podcasts.
I mean, they typically, you know, like go after child molesters, and in this case, I mean, Kristin Smart was more or less a child, and this guy's a rapist. So,
yeah,
I mean, they found out all the shit about Paul Flores, and you know that put a target on his back, and you know they didn't wait long to take him out.
And just the fact that he got convicted, he's in prison for it. And he still won't say where her body is.
Yeah. And now he's going to have a hard time saying it if he does survive.
He's going to have to draw like a map or something.
Yeah. I mean, do you think they can sew his throat back together? Has medical science advanced to that point?
I think so.
You all right there?
Yeah, I've been smoking pot.
Smoking some weed on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that medical science could do that for sure.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. You know, I kind of hope he dies, but it would also be nice maybe like he comes to his senses now and then gives up the location of her body so the family can have closure, and then he dies. That would probably be best, right?
Yeah, or I think maybe if he pulls through the stabbing and then lives, it would probably be the best bet to give away where her body is, so that way you at least get some respect from the inmates.
What if he did it himself in an attempt to get out of Gen Pop? Because you know they're not going to send him back into Gen Pop. Now he's going to be PC'd up.
Yeah.
So like, what if he just, you know,
maybe he freaked out.
Yeah.
He got in there and he
cut himself a little bit, not enough to, you know, kill himself.
And they were like, "Hey, white boy, I'm going to rape you in the shower."
Well, that was racist.
What they said? How they called him white boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you doing that voice.
What voice? I just yelled. That guy was white. The guy, my character.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he probably got a lot of threats immediately when he got in there. People didn't like him.
No.
A guy walked up and pushed his food off the table.
Yeah.
They dumped water on his bed. Yeah. They threw fart bombs under his.
They found him in the shower and gave him a good raping.
Mm-hmm.
Because he raped these other women.
Do you think he immediately went into Gen Pop and took a shower? Within an hour?
I don't know.
He was fucking in that
I'm not
shower.
sure exactly how prison works. I mean, like maybe like
they hadn't let him shower for days.
It's like a mandatory shower.
Yeah. Or he could have been locked up in this isolation, like from transferring the PC to Gen Pop. So he was in a cell for like 6 days.
And he was just defecating all over himself. They needed to get him cleaned
covered
up.
in shit.
Maybe that's why he got stabbed or his throat slit, is because he just reeked of shit, and the other inmates were like, "Man, we need to get this guy out of here somehow, because I mean he stinks."
He came in and they were immediately like,
of shit.
"Hey, white boy." You smell like shit. And then stabbed them.
I mean, it's prison, obviously, so there's no cameras. Well, there's cameras, but we don't have access to any of that footage. So we're just going to have to kind of do our best to put the pieces together ourselves, which is, I think we're doing a good job of that.
Yeah, I think so. So he was stabbed by this guy who's going to be the new star of Chris Lambert's new podcast. It's going to be a whole thing. And we'll be sure to update you guys live on Our Own Backyard's Instagram page.
Yeah.
Not your own backyard.
No, ours.
And also, if you haven't heard the Our Own Backyard episode, go and listen to that, because we like this. We talk about this because this happened in the town that we live in.
Our backyard, basically.
Yeah, the one, the backyard from your own backyard. That's our backyard, ours. And that's crazy. That's meta, and I love meta.
You do like meta.
Now, you know what sucks is that my whole life I've been a fan of like meta comedy and content and stuff. And now, whenever I say that I like things that are meta,
people think that you're talking about Zuckerberg
Corporation, and Facebook. And now I'm promoting. It's like an advertisement for Meta.
Do you think that people really are calling it Meta, or because if you were to refer to it as meta in conversation, I think the majority of the people still aren't going to know what you're talking about. You got to say Facebook still.
Yeah, but it's only a matter of time, because they have, we went to the Facebook headquarters.
We did.
And we went to the Facebook sign at One Hacker Way.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that it's not Hacker Way anymore?
What?
Yeah. The Facebook headquarters is now the Meta headquarters, and it's a new street.
They renamed the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. I'll pull it up. But I saw it, and it immediately stood out to me, because I remember it being One Hacker Way.
Sure. Yeah. We made a big deal of it because we were, trying to investigate a hacker. So,
it actually says One Hacker Way.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's still Hacker Way, but they changed the sign. It used to be like a big Facebook sign. Now it's just this stupid infinity sign.
Or maybe I just saw a meme where someone had changed the street name to something crazy. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, whoa, they called their street name that? And then I just believed it and then wrote it down as fact.
Could be.
Sometimes. People out here, if you're listening to the show, then you're on the internet, and people on the internet, they are posting things, they're spreading misinformation, they're putting memes.
There's a lot of fake news out there.
Yeah, that are serious, and it's obscuring reality, okay? Yes. So keep it up. I think it's fun, because you really don't know what base reality is anymore, because how much of the information in my head is misinformation from a meme?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Probably
say
more than half.
Yeah, I was thinking so.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do a new segment?
Oh, do I?
Let's do this new segment.
What is it? What's the segment gonna be?
The brand new segment on the Natural Habitat podcast. Thank you for coming in, for tuning in, for joining us, for sticking it out through the show. We know that it's been a wild ride today. We got Paul Flores.
We got technical difficulties with the mics.
I'm going to try to cut that out for real, though. So that way it's the beginning of
you got to allude to it at least.
Have the beginning of the technical difficulties. And then I'm going to
maybe just do a smash cut of all the funny parts.
Yeah, of all the little pieces of it. That's not a bad idea. So, it's been a crazy one, but we want to go ahead and invite you to a brand new segment. It's an exciting time here at the Natural Habitat podcast. Almost episode 700. It's right around the corner.
Yep. If we make it there, that strike is still a possibility. And honestly, we haven't made much progress as far as our demands being met. So, I don't know.
We're going to need you to sound off either on our Instagram post for this episode, on our YouTube video for this episode, or in a iTunes Apple Podcast review.
5 stars only.
5 stars, you leave a review, not just a rating, but a review.
Yeah. We don't, if you just give us the 5 stars, that's not going to help us. And
No.
if you just give us the review, it's not going to help us. We need you to do both.
R&R. That's what we need. We need a rate and a review. And you do that, you sound off in either of those 3 places or all 3 of those places. And we will give you episode 700.
We'll give you 700, yeah.
700 is going to be exciting. We have a lot of things planned.
I mean, again, we've established that we have these suits. Yep. I got
Cummerbunds.
cummerbunds.
Yeah.
So
Ty went to the cummerbund store.
Yeah, that was a whole ordeal for me. So
Yeah.
it would be a shame if I had to try to go take it back. Because honestly, I had a bad experience there. I don't know that they're going to take my return. So, don't leave me hanging here. Don't leave me stuck with this cummerbund.
So you said that you were going or that you would win, but you never really told us the story of what happened to the cummerbund.
Yeah, well, I just got in an argument with a couple of people.
Customers or employees?
Both.
Oh,
So yeah, there was like a sales associate who was just a little bit too pushy, and several times I made it clear, hey man, like I'm just looking, not necessarily ready to commit to a cummerbund, and he just started, getting kind of snooty with me. He was, dressed in a tuxedo himself.
yeah.
So I think he was already kind of an elitist.
Did he have a cummerbund?
I don't think that was required of him. I don't think that was like a uniform or anything. He was just dressed in a tuxedo, which seemed odd to me. So I kind of got into it with him, and then this lady, who was in there shopping for her son or whatever, she starts chiming in, taking the side of this associate and telling me that I'm being rude and telling me that I'm making a scene. And was I making a scene? I mean, yeah, I definitely was, but that's not to say that
for her to
I'm
call
in the
you
blame.
out on that.
Yeah, and it's like, excuse me, Karen, why don't you just mind your own fucking business, buy your kid his cummerbund, and let me, deal with this associate my way. And yeah, I mean, long story short, I did come away with a cummerbund, but I don't know if I'm welcome there.
Yeah. So to do all that and go through all that and then not even have an episode 700 would be disheartening.
Yeah. It really would.
Disheartening?
It really would. I mean, I guess I could try to put it on Facebook Marketplace, but I'm probably not going to get my full amount of money back. So
yeah. And we have a lot of performers that we've already paid deposits for.
Yeah.
We have the juggler guy.
The juggalo guy.
The juggalo guy. The juggler guy.
Yeah. We got a number of acts that we don't want to have to, cancel. They're looking forward to it just as much as you guys are.
Yeah.
A lot of this could be their big break. So, I mean, there's a lot of people's livelihood on the line here. So we really need you to just take the steps, meet our demands, and there's going to be no strike. There's going to be a great 700 episode spectacular, and we're all gravy. So,
Sound Off leaves those comments, and we can't wait to hear from you guys.
What was this new segment, though? Did we kind of stray away from that?
The new segment was, we actually haven't done the new segment yet. That's right. That's okay. So this new segment, right? We're here. We're doing it. Episode 700 is right around the corner. We're doing all these new things. We're going in. We're coming in. We're going out. And it's an exciting time. And we want to share that exciting... Wait, what were we talking about right before we started? Right before I announced the new segment.
Cumberbund? Or no, that was post.
Yeah, that was after the new segment. So we were talking about Paul Flores. And then we were like, he's gonna, he's just blah, blah, blah.
Chris Lambert,
the new podcast, Our Own Backyard podcast. Go listen to that.
And then I think right from there, you just started teasing the new segment.
Yeah. What the fuck? What was the new segment?
Oh shit! I have no idea. I didn't even know to begin with.
We've discussed this a lot.
Fuck! There was something, right? Like we went over it.
There was something that we planned out.
Pre-production meeting.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. All right. I got it. You got it? Here, whisper it to me. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Guys, we forgot what we forgot the new segment.
Yeah,
there was a new segment, we forgot it.
Spaced on it.
Yeah, but it's written down somewhere, and I'm sure that if I were to...
Do we have podcast notes from this episode? Did we come up with anything? We might have some leftover ones from a previous episode we can just jump on into.
And then maybe just pretend that that's the new segment.
Yeah, why not? Juggalo Ohio 2 is a scam.
Yeah, we already did
Steven
that.
Seagal's a meme.
Yeah.
Steve Martin dead.
No.
Man.
Oh
yeah, there's a cop that fell down a children's slide. Did you see that?
Is that a segment?
Video? No, but I mean, like us watching it could be a segment.
No, I haven't seen that video.
Oh man, yeah. We gotta. If for no other reason, for your own amusement. It's like you can't see like how he fell down, but you can just see the aftermath of him coming down, and it's pretty funny. It's a Boston police officer, and supposedly he was injured. But I mean, like, how do you come down a slide?
I did see that.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, police in Boston obviously need to be more careful when they're going down children's slides, because man, like.
Is this going to be like a whole news thing about this? Or is it just going to be the video of him catapulting out of the slide?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
here, it's the video.
He fucking came out so quick.
Yeah, so he came down like almost head first, like kind of like on his neck. And it's like, I don't know. What the fuck? Very
he came
unusual.
down feet first.
But yeah, it didn't look comfortable. It was funny.
It looked fun. It looked like he was having fun. He was having a goof.
So that's the segment. Cops falling down slides.
Yeah, thank you for fucking experiencing that segment with us. If you liked it, sound off. Let us know. We could maybe find another cop that fell down a slide.
Yeah,
we'll do it all.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure there's other cops.
Yeah,
falling down slides left and right.
Mm-hmm. So. Do we call him President Trump or do we call him former President Trump?
I think it depends on whether you like him or not.
So Trump,
I mean, like his supporters probably call him President Trump.
Can we just call him Trump?
Trump, yeah, that works.
So Trump is being indicted yet again. Multiple times he's been indicted. This isn't something that we've talked about on the show because we kind of left politics behind.
Yeah, I think last time we checked in with Trump was when he did the collaboration with the January 6th prisoners, which was really fun.
That was good. So Trump is being indicted yet again, and then he has to turn himself in.
He very well may be becoming a January 6th prisoner because of his election interference. And his associates, his co-defendants turned themselves in so far this week.
It's like Rudy Giuliani is one of them.
It's that Sidney Powell lawyer woman that was just like batshit crazy. That's her. And then like the
smiling lady.
Yeah, the smiling lady looks like like she would be like a character on The Purge. A lot of these people look like they're straight out of The Purge. That guy. Yeah. I mean, they very well may be. Who is this lady? Kathy Latham.
She looks like a ghost. The whole screen is just white.
Yeah, she looks scared. She looks like she's going to get the Paul Flores treatment when she hits Gen Pop. And you got this creep. And then look at this evil motherfucker. This guy,
Ray Smith.
Ray Smith. You're not going to do well in Gen Pop either. So you got to.
You could tell. So this is like a spectrum. If you look at all these mugshots of how much these people are guilty of. So you got Jenna Ellis, the only thing that she did was maybe collude with Trump about trying to rig this Georgia election. Maybe she, maybe she kissed her assistant one night at a Christmas party or something. Those are like the worst things that she did. This guy, he, has been cheating on his wife with a gay prostitute.
Has he?
And he's just really stressed that when they go through all of this stuff and all of his computers and trying to figure out, it's going to
come out. He's going to be exposed as a
it's going to expose his stuff that he's hiding.
Okay.
And then this guy,
the guy above him, looks like kind of like what's the fellow that exposes the pet?
Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen. Is that Chris Hansen? Is it not?
A fat Chris Hansen? Because Chris Hansen's sickly now.
Oh, that's right.
He's really skinny. But this guy definitely has.
He's got some skeletons in the closet.
He's got the bad stuff. He has a body in his basement. He's got the CP on the hard drive.
Oh yeah.
He's got all the stuff, and he knows that it's all coming out, which is why he looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a whole spectrum of horrible to not that bad people.
Yeah, and Trump soon to join them.
We get a mugshot.
Get his mugshot, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with his previous indictments, they have, I think, managed to negotiate to where he doesn't have to do a mugshot. He just gets fingerprinted. But from my understanding, is Georgia's like, nope, you're coming in, you're getting a mugshot.
This one requires a mugshot.
We're gonna embarrass you. I think it's gonna be, like, I think the right wing people are gonna adopt it and be like, yeah, this is the coolest picture ever. And then like
they're gonna put it on shirts.
Liberals are gonna be like, haha, it's a mugshot. So like, I think this image is gonna become very popular for both sides.
Yeah, and it could go either way because you could just do the classic mugshot. You could maybe put like an American flag behind him instead of the lines or the sheriff's sign or whatever.
Yeah, so we're definitely looking forward to that Trump mugshot now.
And then a lot of people are going to meme it and Photoshop it.
Yeah. So many memes coming. Now, do you think that Trump is going to be convicted of any of these? Now, like in Georgia, they're straight hitting him with the RICO Act, the racketeering thing, like the same thing that Young Thug got busted for in Georgia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like
Georgia's really heavy on the RICO Act.
So, I mean, he could be looking at some time down there with Young Thug. And, Trump is another person who, I mean, if he hits general population, another inmate could really rise socially by taking Trump out with a knife, and I'm not suggesting
but Trump
that.
would never hit general population ever.
Nah, probably not.
I don't know why Paul Flores did.
Yeah, it is kind of wild.
Yeah, especially so soon. But I guess just because he's high profile and famous on a podcast, like the judge probably doesn't recognize that, like he would a Netflix series. Like an old judge is going to be.
Oh, yeah,
like,
he doesn't look. What is a podcast? What is a podcast? I didn't hear anything about this on conservative talk radio.
I didn't hear this on NPR.
Rush Limbaugh didn't tell me this. Is Rush Limbaugh still alive?
Computer, is Rush Limbaugh still alive?
On February 17th, 2021 in Palm Beach, Florida. USA at the age of 70.
I didn't hear about this on Hannity.
70. He was only 70. He died. It's pretty young.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that evilness will eat you alive.
Mm-hmm. So really, the moral of the story is don't get eaten alive by evil.
You gotta suppress that evil.
Mm-hmm. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that new segment. I hope that
sound off. Let us know in the comments below. Like, what do you think is going to happen with Trump? Do you think that he's going to get convicted of any of these, or do you think he's going to walk away scot-free? And I think, personally, my opinion is they better hope that they get a conviction, because if he escapes all these indictments, he's getting elected president if he runs, and it's like Biden versus Trump. Like they're gonna turn out strong for Trump, and he's gonna spend his entire presidency just exacting revenge on anyone that wronged him.
It's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be wild. So you really better hope that these district attorneys get some favorable judges and they're able to get a conviction. So either way, it's gonna be crazy. Trump's either going to prison or he's probably gonna become a dictator.
The way that you described that was like so apocalyptic and crazy.
That's kind of what I think is gonna happen. So I'm not sure.
Fuck, that's wild. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're someone that's on this team that's prosecuting Trump, good luck.
Yeah, maybe they can get what's the Paul Flores prosecutor's name? Chris Purvell, a local district attorney.
That maybe idiot guy? Wasn't he like an idiot?
No, he was good. He was good. That's how they got Paul Flores convicted. It was Paul Flores' defense attorney that was the idiot.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So maybe they can get this Chris Purell to help prosecute Trump. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week. We love you guys.
Natural Habitat Recordings.